Semiconductor stocks just got hammered. We're talking double-digit losses on some of the biggest names in the space. But here's the thing. While chips are bleeding, other parts of the market are quietly printing gains. Let's find out what it means for your portfolio. Let's start with the indices. So the Nasdaq had a rough day, dropping 0.8% to close at 25,832. That's not catastrophic, but it stings when you look at what dragged it down. The week's still holding up, though. We're up 1.87% since Monday, which tells you there's still some underlying strength here. The real story today is chip weakness pulling the whole index sideways. You've got semiconductor names getting absolutely crushed, and that's heavy enough to hurt the broad market even when other sectors are trying to lift. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Dow actually bucked the trend and rallied 1.14% to 52,900. That's a real divergence right there. The Dow's up 1.89% for the week too, which is basically in line with where the Nasdaq is. What this tells you is that the old-school, blue-chip value stocks and industrials are holding their ground, maybe even catching a bid, while all the growth and tech concentration is getting hit. Classic risk-off rotation. When tech stumbles, investors move money to what they know, what's stable, and that's where the Dow lives. Now here are the top movers of the day. KLA Corporation is down hard, 11.51% today, sitting at $235.55, and it's down 8.98% on the week. This is the semiconductor equipment space getting crushed. You're looking at concerns about chip demand, maybe some inventory correction in the supply chain, and just broad weakness across the semiconductor ecosystem. When the foundries and chip makers slow down, the equipment suppliers feel it first. That's where we are right now. Lam Research is even worse, down 10.19% today to $351.41 and down a brutal 12.55% for the week. Same story as KLA, maybe even a little more pressure. Lam is a core equipment supplier to the chip industry, and when you're seeing this kind of selling, it tells you the street is worried about CapEx pullback and demand weakness in semiconductors. This is not a good look for the chip cycle right now. Tesla's down 7.49% today at $393.45. But here's the nuance. It's still up 4.89% on the week. So Tesla got hit in the broader sell-off, but it's not getting crushed the way pure-play chip stocks are. There might be some profit-taking after the week's gains, or just general risk-off in mega-cap growth. But the weekly number tells you Tesla's still got some underlying support. It's holding better than you might expect on a day like today. Vertex Pharmaceuticals is the bright spot in the movers, up 6.03% today to $528.04, and up 9.97% on the week. This is a biotech stock in a healthcare space that's been resilient. When growth stocks are struggling and people are rotating to safety, healthcare and pharma often get some love. Vertex is proving that thesis out. Good earnings, good pipeline, and a sector that doesn't care as much about the Fed or growth concerns. S&P Global is another winner, up 6.01% today to $439.89 and absolutely crushing it on the week with a 17.67% gain. This is a financial data and ratings company, so it benefits from volatility, from institutional flows, from people rebalancing. When markets get choppy like today, the guys who sell data and analytics make money. SPGI's massive week reflects that institutional activity is alive and well even when stocks are selling off. Now let us look at energy and fuel. Oil slipped a tiny bit today, down just 0.17%, settling at $68.46 a barrel. But zoom out, and this is the real story, crude's down 4.81% on the week. That's a meaningful pullback. You're looking at softer demand expectations, maybe some supply concerns easing, and just the broad economic headwinds we've been watching. Nothing dramatic, but enough to tell you that energy traders aren't super confident about growth right now. Natural gas got hit a little harder than oil, down 0.62% today at $3.20, and for the week it's down 4.19%. You're in summer now, so demand for heating is basically gone. Storage levels are building, and that typically weighs on prices. There's not a ton of urgency in the market for gas when you've got mild weather and plenty in the tank. This is textbook seasonal weakness, nothing shocking. Moving on to metals. Now gold. Gold is doing what gold does when people get nervous. It's up 1.65% today to $4,135.50, and it's up 2.61% for the week. When you've got tech stocks selling off and some uncertainty about the economic direction, safe haven money starts flowing into gold. It's the classic fear trade, and it's working. Investors want something that doesn't move with the stock market, and gold is the ultimate insurance policy. Silver's actually outpacing gold. That's worth noting. It's up 2.26% today and a whopping 5.3% for the week. So silver's moving faster than gold, which sometimes signals that people aren't just buying pure safe haven. They might be pricing in some industrial demand recovery or just betting on metals broadly. When silver outperforms gold, it usually means there's a little more risk appetite mixed in with the fear. Interesting dynamic today. And finally, let us look at tomorrow. So here's what to watch tomorrow. First, it's Friday before a holiday weekend, so volumes are going to be light. That means moves can feel exaggerated and reversals can happen fast. The big question mark is whether we get that non-farm payrolls report. If it drops tomorrow morning, that's going to be a market-moving data point. We've got a divergent setup now. Dow up, Nasdaq down, which suggests some sector rotation is happening. The really important thing for you is that this isn't panic selling yet. We're seeing tactical moves and rotations, but the indexes are still in reasonable shape on a weekly basis. Watch that semiconductor space. If equipment stocks stabilize, you might see some relief buying. If they roll over again, that's a sign the weakness is broadening. Either way, tomorrow's going to set the tone for the holiday week. Stay sharp out there. For your daily market update video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification.